And everyone, welcome to Mike's season ticket holder experience. This is not an episode of the More Phenomenal Hockey Show that will be coming out a little later for when I'm able to record our conference final preview. But I wanted to utilize this to kind of reflect on the 2024-25 NHL season as a whole. As a season ticket holder, this was my first season as one, and as you have been following with the blog, I've been doing like Cap 50 facts and photo albums and reels slash TikToks, which we'll talk about that one later. Um, and then also just giving my thoughts on the games. I was doing the math when moving everything off my phone to clear up some space, and I actually attended a total of 49 games this season. I went to all 41 home games for the Capitals, plus all four home playoff games for the, no, correction, all six home playoff games for the Capitals. And so that obviously brought it up to 48, no, 47. I can't do math. And then I did two games on the road. I went to see the Minnesota Wild play the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto, and I went to Pittsburgh for the first game back from the Four Nations tournament to see the Capitals take on the Pens. So I'm going to be using physical items to kind of chronicle this journey of the season and begins with first becoming a Cap season ticket holder. Um, and this was the gift that they gave me. It's a John Carlson signed puck, which is kind of cool. I like how they have these pucks with the where the players can sign. It's pretty neat. Um, so that was a nice way to kind of kickstart. And then I also got a first time season ticket holder gift of it's when Ovi scored 800. It's a piece of the net. I have that hanging on the wall. I wasn't going to go try to get that off of my wall. Sorry. And then obviously the other season ticket holder gifts of the special 50th anniversary season collector's box that has like a commemorative ticket, pin set, um, all this other stuff that I have. I have it boxed away for safekeeping, and then the one gift that we got the select, which I picked the varsity jacket type thing, also packed away. Sorry, I don't have all these things to show off. Um, so I didn't do any of the preseason games, and the reason I didn't was because I wanted my first game to be the home opener against New Jersey because I felt that, if I'm going to become a season ticket holder, I want to make it right and um, I want it to be that game. And, I picked up a puck from McGray to commemorate the moment. So I have this right here to, kind of celebrate that fact that, this was my first season opener, home opener as a season ticket holder. Obviously, New Jersey kind of smoked us a bit that game, but by that point, that was their fourth game in the Caps first. Um, so yeah, it was a kind of an interesting one. And then obviously the wins against Vegas and Dallas were huge games. And then for me, uh, the next one that was kind of important to me was my first Flyers game as a season ticket holder because obviously, if anyone knows my history, my father's from Philly. He's a Flyers fan. He's been a Flyers fan since they came in the league when he was like 9 or 10 years old. So like that's kind of ingrained in me, and getting this puck was important for me um, to kind of commemorate that little milestone for myself. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Flyers later. Next up, everyone knows I've always been a big fan of the blue Screaming Eagle jerseys. They're my favorite jerseys, and obviously they did the black Screaming Eagle for this season as part of the 50th anniversary. Um, had to get the puck because it had the Screaming Eagle on it. That was an important for me. This was a fun game to be at. Got that cowboy hat that's sitting right back there. So it was I'm politely putting these pucks backs in place where I originally set them up. Um, so that was a fun time to see the jerseys in person and up close. And obviously, I have the photo album. I picked out a lot of pictures from at least a picture from every game. It ended up being like probably like six pictures from every game. So you can see the photo gallery of like 371 pictures throughout the season. Um, so yeah, and then of course I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I went to the Leafs game, some 41 concert, and I didn't get a puck. I completely forgot to, but I did pick up some jerseys. I got this jersey from the Maple Leafs, and obviously, as you can tell, I got it personalized to my name and number on the back because that's what I like to do. Although looking back on it, and I was joking about it with my friend Chris, who went up to Pittsburgh, or not just Pittsburgh, but also Toronto with me, and I said, the whole reason I went up to Toronto was to go see some 41, and I should have gotten it where it said some and then 41 for the number just to commemorate the concert. But, hindsight's 2020 on that. So it's like, oops. I mean, maybe the next Leafs jersey I get, I can do a some 41 jersey just for the kicks. But I picked up that jersey. I did a road jersey because you don't see those a lot. So it's like for me, I was like, yeah, that would be kind of cool. Plus, it became my first Fanatics jersey. It's still the only Fanatics uh, premium jersey that I have in my collection so far. I did pick up some PWHL jerseys as well. Picked up Minnesota Frost and the Toronto Scepters because those were jerseys that I kind of really wanted for the collection as well. Um, but yeah, that was a unique experience going up to Toronto and taking in a game at Scotiabank Arena. I've talked about it before on the podcast with Toru. It was really dead there. I'm hoping maybe I can, when I get a new job, can go back up there, try to do a Hockey Night in Canada game, just to really feel that atmosphere in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. That'd be really cool. Um, then obviously, uh, they go to the Four Nations tournament. Caps didn't have any players, which I was perfectly fine with because I didn't care for the Four Nations tournament. But the very first game back was up in Pittsburgh, and my friend Chris and we went up to Pittsburgh, and I picked up this puck. I also picked up a souvenir game puck uh, of the Penguins as well for the collection. This was kind of cool going to. It was like my second time ever going to a Caps road game, and this one was totally worth it. Caps put up 8 points, but yet or 8 goals, and Ovi did not score one of them, which was really funny. But then the next night or the next afternoon, and back home, Ovi got the hat trick against Edmonton, which was still my worst hat throw of hat throws for a hat trick, where it's just like yes, 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 and then so far to the right. Didn't even did it was bad. Um, but we all had a great time laughing about it. Yeah, that was a cool experience of traveling up to Pittsburgh, going to the game, coming back, going to Cap One, go to the game, go home, and it's like you're just exhausted after all that travel. It's like, yeah, and this is why the players get paid the big bucks to do it, and not me. Uh, and then we had a great moment, and you can see up here, I have all the cups, all 5 cups that they did this season for the Caps. And then this one right here that I'm pointing at, it's like one of those Careener like water Yeti type things with the Caps logo. I got that and a few other items as because I was selected as the Capitals Geico fourth star of the month for April. I was up for fourth star of the year, which unfortunately I lost, and I still don't know to this day where I placed in the rankings and in voting. Um, Fortunately, the person who did one got themselves on Fox 5 and showcased their basement and, you know, and got like pretty much all the votes that way. I mean, hey, can't hate the player, hate the game. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer because I'd never really told this story, and it's first time it's kind of going out. But the day I was told that I got fourth star of the month for April was February 27th. So I was like riding a high. And then February 28th, I ended up losing my job, which really took the air out of my sails on a lot of things. I'm currently still unemployed and still looking every day for a new job. I'm hopeful that, I can get one sooner than later. But it has been 3 months now, or almost 3 months now, since I've been let go due to contracts being canceled and stuff like that. So still looking, still hopeful. Just, I'm hoping to get something sooner than later. So that it kind of bummed me out a lot. But I still had, the fourth star, and they let me select what game I wanted to go to in the month of March. And I picked the Flyers. And this is obviously the game that Ovechkin scored at goal number 8888. Um, and it's important too because I got to be in the penalty box for the pregame warmups, which is really cool. Um, but it's also the fact that my friend Sasha was there, my friend Greeny was there, but more importantly, as I mentioned earlier, my dad's from Philly. He's a Flyers fan, and I got to go to the game with my dad, and that's what this puck ultimately, at the end of the day, signifies is the fact that yeah, Ovechkin had 888. Yeah, it was my game as the fourth star of the month for April, but it really is like this is the game I got to finally go to a game with my dad for the first time in a while. So it was, it had a little bit more meaning to me in that sense. Um, and then to end the regular season, we got had to pick up the puck for the home finale. Caps and the Blue Jackets, and again had to get the one with the Screaming Eagle on it. I know the reflection is awful, but that's okay. Um, at that point, Ovi had already, broken the record, and we'll get to that in a bit. I want to talk about that and laugh about that later. Again, all that stuff is also boxed up and put away too. Um, yeah, we it was cool, because I was also at the game when he tied the record with 894, and actually, as you notice with the cups up here, they were using the white 50th cup, which is that one right there. Yes, that one right there. I'm like looking at the camera, I'm looking at the screen, but and I got one of the cups from that game because and I wrote on the bottom of the cup the date, the opponent, and goals 893, 894, and I put it with my 895 hat, pucks, and T-shirt. Which, fun fact, I actually didn't get to see that game live because I was at AwesomeCon when it happened. I was actually getting ready to meet Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, who are from like the Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead movie, and other things as well. And they so that was so just getting a notification on Twitter, just going like, "Oh, Ovi scored," and hit, like you're watching the videos, and I sent it to a couple friends, and I was watching it with them at AwesomeCon. Um, I just wish because AwesomeCon had Wes Johnson there, it would have been so perfect that they just put him on the microphone to do a goal announcement at AwesomeCon for 895. That would have been so great, but that was definitely a missed opportunity by AwesomeCon there. You had the PA announcer there. You might as well have done it. So yeah, it was that was a very unique experience not seeing it. And I was really bummed because I really wanted the red locker room hat, and that sold out in like 5 minutes. So I ended up getting the blue version of the locker room hat for my collection. So yeah, that was interesting. And then before I get to the playoffs, I just want to reminisce about some other things from the regular season. Obviously, shout out to my season ticket holder neighbors, Graylin, Kathleen, JR, Sandy. Sandy's daughter Christine, occasionally Wes. Um, y'all have been amazing, and thank you for making me feel welcomed in 420 row F. I do appreciate it. Um, Glad that it got to be a great season to have as a first one with y'all, and I can't wait for next season to spend next season with you guys again too, because I'm getting the same seat. I'm not moving. Um, and then I was talking about how with the 4 star, I found out the day before I lost my job, and March 1st, the Caps had a game, and they and I'd already been helping kids, get pucks from the players or high fives or fist bumps when they're coming off the ice because of where I always go for pregame warm-ups. And but what I would normally do is I would have the kids approach me to have that opportunity because I was like, because you know how you are. You can be like set in your way and you're like focused on something else and whatever. And it's like, you know, but um but I remember it's like, because you're bummed you lost your job and you're trying to figure things out and it's like, well, what's something that can help be a distraction outside of the game? And it's like, so I decided to proactively start looking for kids, like especially like little kids, and especially if it's like their first game, giving them that opportunity to be right there. So I was proactive getting the parents over there with their kid and stuff like that. So I think I helped this season. I helped at least over 20, maybe close to 30 kids this season get pucks. I don't know the exact number because I wasn't actually keeping track, but I know it was in the double digits and it was at least half the season's worth of numbers of kids that I helped. Um, so like between 20 to 30, I helped get pucks, and I got a story for the last puck that I'm going to show because my Caps friends are going to give me crap for it, but I don't care. Which I'll be honest, I created a whole new like Caps family during the season too. Like originally, like the first few games, I was just kind of going in main entrance and whatever. And then I remember doing the very first chalk talk for season ticket holders. And I'm the guy who asked questions to Don Fishman that had nothing to do with the Capitals, but more with the league because I knew, because there are things that I follow, and I'm not going to talk about them on here because it's not the place. But if you know, you know. And so I was asking those questions, and one of the interesting things was is that one of the people who recognized me from there, they're like, "Hey, you seem like a cool dude, or you know what you're talking about when it comes to hockey. Come hang out with us." Type of deal. And that was Terry, which then had me properly meet Rich, who I'd actually met before through another friend, but we never really talked. And then this was the season we finally started talking and getting to know each other. So it was like, so it's Terry, Rich, Jen and Steven, Jennifer and Chad, their kids, Olivia and Logan, Jen and Steven's son, Daniel. Uh, and then there's Vanessa and her boyfriend, Wesley. Um, Terry's daughters, Jordan and Jamie, so it became like and then we actually added a couple more with Mary and Haley. So it's like we got this legitimate family here. And we took a group photo at the end of the home finale, which is it part of I believe it's part of the photo album. If it's not, it probably don't have it in there for a reason. It's probably because I was going to do a separate post on Facebook with it or something. I can't remember. Um, but no, it was nice to be approached, nice to be welcomed into this little group, this little family, and I yeah, appreciate the support that I've gotten, especially these last like 3 months while I've been job searching and trying to just get a new job, get myself back on my feet and back on track of things. And and definitely thank you to Rich for the Columbus Caps puck because I couldn't afford it at the time, and he was like, you should have a home finale puck. You shouldn't be without that for your collection for this season. And I was like, deeply touched by that. So to Rich, thank you so much for that. And but yeah, and then sorry, I'm tearing up just a little bit here. Um, I'm just reflecting. It's like it's okay. Um, and then now we go into the playoffs. And unfortunately, game five, I was trying to get a game five puck because it had the Canadians and the Caps logos on it. And unfortunately, they didn't have any at the time. And so I picked up the game one puck. As you can tell, it's just that it doesn't even have the Stanley Cup logo up here on the top either. Um, but thinking back on it, I'm actually kind of glad I still got this because of the significance of this game too, which was the first time Alex Ovechkin ever scored an overtime game winner or an overtime playoff goal. And so it's like this puck gets to signify, hey, I got to see Ovechkin, you know, do something for the first time ever in his career, which was scoring that playoff overtime goal. So like this puck in a way is still very special in that regard to to that fact. And I got it on the day that they eliminated the Canadians from the playoffs. Um, so yeah, that was kind of cool. Then we moved on to Carolina. Cool story about this puck. This puck, I was helping out a father with his daughters. One daughter was on one side, the other daughter was on our side or on my side of the tunnel. And the one daughter got a puck from Trevor Van Riemsdyk. The daughter that was on the side with me got this puck from Nick Dowd, but she had a poster about Lindgren, Charlie Lindgren. And Lindgren came over and did a swap of a bracelet that she made for Lindgren for a puck. And the father was like, here, you can have this puck here that Dowd gave her because she got the puck that, she really wanted. And so, um, thank you, sir, for the puck. Um, I appreciate it for the collection. Um, that over here. And then obviously, um, I was able at game five against Carolina, I was able to get my Canadians Caps puck with the logo from game five. My Caps friends are going to give me crap for this story, but I don't care. There's a really cool guy. He's a veteran. His name is Joe. He has two kids, Miles and James. Obviously, I helped them get pucks, and we actually got quite a few pucks at game five. I think we got like four or five over on our side, and like two of them were handed directly to Miles. And I remember, you know, as Miles would get the pucks from down in TVR, I handed them over to his dad, and then a couple more were tossed over by the trainer, and the his uh Joe, I gave the one puck to James because we took the TVR puck and we gave it to a girl that was a little further down. Um, on I think on the opposite side of Joe, so we wanted to make sure she got a puck. So it's like Dowd puck went to Miles, the TVR puck went to the girl, and then the trainer started throwing some pucks up. I caught one for James and I gave it to James, and I don't know if Joe said something to James or not, but James came to me and was like, "I want you to have this puck," and it was the Game Five Carolina puck that the trainer threw over, and um, it was like cool. Like, are you sure? He's like, "Yeah, no, you've been." And Joe was like, "No, you've been good to us all season. That's for you, man. You should have it." And I was like, "Are you really sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like okay, cool. Well, I go upstairs to 400s and I go to the little marketplace where I get I've been getting my bottles of Sprite, and there's these two little kids, like about the size of Miles. Miles was like little kid, and they were wearing Carolina Hurricane jerseys. And I'm somebody who is not bothered by other teams' fans at all, and and they were just talking, and they were telling me that they're down by the ice trying to get a puck from the players, and they weren't able. And I just said, like, hey, here, take a look. And I let the kid hold on to the puck that James gave me, and he was like, oh, that's so cool. And then they gave it back. Then we buy our stuff, and the McGray table's like right there. So I walk over to the McGray table, and I see that they had these, and this is something I really wanted. And so we're over there, and I'm paying for the puck, and the mother sees the price of the game pucks, or the warm up pucks, I mean. And I said, and I just looked over, and I just took the Hurricanes game 5 puck that James gave me, and I said, hey, kid. And I slid it over to him, and I said, here, you could take that. And the mother was like, really? It's like, yeah. Like the kid, I'm getting what I really want, and I already have one from game 1. You know, you guys can have that one. So, and I made that kid's day. I mean, the Hurricanes won, so that also made the kid's day. But I'd rather, you know, we were all kids once, and we all know, like, I have a puck from Peter Bondra when I was like 7 years old, so I know what it was like to get one. And like I said, I got the puck I really wanted, and so by me getting the puck I really wanted, which was that Canadians one because it makes the set look better, it I was able to make a little kid happy, and that to me was more important. And then we actually, I told her, it's like, well, I got it from a trainer. It's like, well, for the story, what player can we say? And I just said, I just tell her that it was from Trevor Van Riemsdyk, like, because he used to play for the Hurricanes. And she just started laughing. I was like, okay, that's the story we're gonna go with. So so I even helped them come up with a story about which player gave them the puck, even though it was really from a trainer. But so yeah, so if any of my Cavs friends want to give me crap for it, fine, I don't care. But I made that kid's day. I made that mother's day by making her kid happy with that puck, and that's a hell of a lot more important than you know me having the puck. It really is. Um, so man, 50th season. I definitely picked this season to be the first year on purpose because I wanted the 50th anniversary. Because I'm a nerd for all that retro nostalgia historical stuff. I really am. And so I enjoyed the Capitals doing like their 50th season moments and stuff like that, which is funny because when I look at it, I think when they did the folder thing, or the videos this season, I think they only did like maybe 29 or 30 moments when I think they're supposed to do 50. And I have actually created for the Caps 50 facts for TXHT. I actually created 84 Caps 50 facts moments. And then obviously the docu series on the 97-98 Washington Capitals, which was 14 chapters. Which again, big thank you to Ken Klee and Joey Juno for letting me interview them for the docu series. That was super awesome of you guys to do that for me. Um, and then there's just one more thing that I got to talk about. Oh, the Ovechkin stuff is right here. Before we go to that, we'll go to the Ovechkin stuff. So, as I mentioned, that's what I wrote on the bottom of the cup. And then, shout out to the Islanders for putting this up. Uh, and then I picked up, I'm not going to pull out the locker room t shirt or the hat, but, here's the 2 pucks that I obtained. Back in there. And go back right there. Now back to the didn't even know where I put things. Now to talk about the final thing. Over the summer, the NHL and the WWE came together and they gave every team their own WWE title belt. They are $600. I can't afford that. I couldn't even afford that when I had a job. Although I was kind of working towards it and then I lost my job. So then that just kind of derailed it completely. Um so I went on the eBay. I actually found one for and I talked the person down to 175, the person down in Pakistan, and I got myself the title belt. Which is very uncomfortable. There we go. And I got this. I brought it to me at the Caps 50 Fest, where a photographer took a picture of me with it, which then that picture was then used for both the Capitals Geico fourth star of the month for April and for the voting, and then obviously was submitted to the NHL for their Geico fourth star of the year thing, which I was not selected for, which you know, I'm still glad I got selected in general by the Caps. And I brought it to the first game, and luckily for me, where I sit, I have a railing in front of me, so I can just hang the belt on the railing, and that was very easy. And I'm very grateful to my neighbors for watching the belt for me when I had to step away during intermissions or something. That made life a lot easier. When I sat in March with my hockey group slash also former coworkers for the Ottawa game, and I had it set on my seat. That was kind of a bit more of a pain. Same when I was with the game with my dad, Greeny and Sasha, but it is what it is. That one wasn't as bad because nobody was really behind us. I remember the Caps. I had at the home opener Caps lost. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I want to at least get a win with this. So I brought to the next game against Vegas, and the Caps won. And I remember running into Captain Obvious, and he was like, "You got to bring that belt to every game." I'm like, okay, so this belt has literally been to every home game this season. It's been to all 47 home games. It did not come to me with Pittsburgh. It did not come to me to Toronto. And it's a little worse for wear now. Um, but there's other meaning behind this belt than just, oh, you're a Caps fan, stuff like that. The other meaning behind this belt is that it signifies what I've had to get through and have been through to finally become a Capital season ticket holder, because it was not an easy road, and it's still not an easy road. There's a lot of questions of like, how am I still going to be able to pay for my tickets for next season? Um, there's a lot of doubt going in my mind as I continue to search for a new job. But this belt signifies more than just, oh, I'm a Caps fan. It signifies the work I've had to put in, the rough times, the good times, the adversity I've had to face and currently am facing now, to become a season ticket holder and to maintain my season tickets as well. Um, so like that's what this belt really means to me. Um, but I am officially declaring it now that game 5 against the Canes, when the Capitals lost and had their season ended, that is the last game that this belt is going to. The belt is officially being retired. It is going to get put away for safekeeping, especially with how many freaking repairs I've had to do to this thing. I mean, look at the inside right there. I've had to do a lot of repairs. So, um, this this right here is probably the official last time that you're going to be seeing this belt, because it is not going to be at a game uh, anymore in the near future. So, but yeah, um, and then obviously also I want to thank um, the staff at Capital One Arena, the Caps training staff, security, the ushers. They've all been amazing. My rep, Tracy, she is a rock star. She has done an amazing job this season. I can't wait to work with her again next season. Well, technically, next season work has started now in a way. Um, but yeah, so obviously shout outs to Captain Obvious, Wes, and Goat William, aka Will, or also known as William. Uh, um, if I am missing you, or I did not mention you, I apologize. Chris, I did mention you multiple times because you went to Toronto and Pittsburgh with me, and you know, we hung out a bunch of games. Actually, she was somebody I met at Caps 50 Fest, and we just kind of hit it off as friends. So it's like cool. So can't wait for next season. Going to take this season or this off season to just relax. I got a hockey tournament I'm getting ready to go to Canada for. I'm actually going to be at Big Lake Comic Con in Fairfax, Virginia, um, at the end of this month as well. So come see me there at Big Lake Comic Con Nova. And then, yeah, I'll probably be going to a Nats game at least a couple times just to try to give myself a chance to decompress for the job searching. So, with that, this has been me reflecting on the 2024-25 season, my first season as a season ticket holder to the Washington Capitals. And I would also like to make it known that I will not be blogging about my season ticket holder experience next season. This was a one season deal. And but do stay tuned because I still will be creating content at the games. I will still be filming the walkouts during pregame warmups, and I will still be taking pictures. I'm probably gonna have to do a better job of posting those. I don't know how I'll do that though, but may not actually even take as many photos next season as I did this season. So, but with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting my website, and I will see you next season.